Alright, well, I'm here. I'm cleaning my shop up a little bit. It's real easy to let your shop get pretty cluttered up with tools and chargers and parts and pieces and radios, and it'll really close in on you pretty fast if you don't keep up with it. And it's real easy to ignore it for a while when you're wanting to build on something and let it get out of hand. I had one of my watchers asked me to do a little bit of a update on my shop, and I looked at my shop and I realized it was in such bad shape that I couldn't even do that. So I'm cleaning it up a little bit so it won't look too bad. Picking up my batteries and my chargers and my parts and pieces that I've been working with, and even though I use this stuff constantly, you still got to put it up every once in a while. You got to pick it up and rearrange it and put some of the stuff where it goes, even though you're going to get it right back out in 5 minutes. I kind of try to make a place for most of my things. I've got a pegboard over here that's filling up, but it does help hold a lot of little things, rulers and tape and stuff. And I also got a few supplies. I always buy a roll of this cheap masking tape whenever I go in somewhere. And I'm also starting to buy silicone, both the automotive and the regular silicone. Now the automotive in the high heat, I will use, I can use it on my carburetors where they go in on my gas engines, because a lot of times they're cracked if I'm buying used engines. And I can also use it on the exhaust, a thin layer, instead of buying the high dollar gaskets. Now my regular silicone, you can glue in your weights to weight your plane. You can glue about anything in. You can fill your gaps where your elevator goes on, or it's just amazing. It's a very good stuff. But now I've learned from past experience not to buy the cheapest silicone. The cheapest silicone is not doesn't have a real good consistency. It's kind of runny and it doesn't stay where you put it. It will work, but this stuff's about $1 more, $1.25 more too, but it's worth every penny. Okay, now back to cleaning my shop up a little bit. Try to put everything in its place and get my tools. I kind of have, I have places for my tools to where they can, almost all of my tools that I use, I can take to the field with me. It's very important to have a lot of tools and hardware with you at the field. Things like this. This goes in, I've got a tackle box that I use, and this right here is all my ends, all my Velcro. I make my own servo leads. I've got all my pins, I've got my crimping pliers, my hemostats, my switch. I actually need this switch right here. I've got everything I need right there to make a servo lead if I need to. I take that with me to the field. I will do another video on just what I take to the field, because I had somebody ask me on that, and it's going to be extensive because I take everything to the field. Now granted, I take a smaller version of everything. I don't cart my shop off to the field, but I do take a little bit of everything to the field with me, so that way if I or one of my buddies have a problem with their airplane, or I have one of mine, there's almost nothing I can't fix at the field. Alright, well, I will continue to clean on my shop, and when I get it in a little better shape, I will be back. Okay, well, here's my little airplane shop. It's a 32 by 12 Durskin building with a little porch on the front. I painted it white when I got it with a, it's called a barn and fence paint, which will greatly extend the life of the wood. I had to re-level it. They didn't do a good job leveling it, and it was very hard because of the beams that are underneath. But anyway, and then I used a mobile home skirting to go around it to attach it to the ground to make it look nicer. Okay. I installed a large window unit air conditioner, which is a 24,000 BTU, and I converted it over by making a faceplate for it. This one has heating and cooling. It's like a heat pump. It doesn't work that well in real cold temperatures, but it does. It works pretty well under normal conditions. And I installed it. I installed a duct system so that I have central heat and air conditioner. Of course, painted it white. Used the mobile home skirting, and that's the outside Durskin building. Okay, let's go inside. Now on the inside here, I insulated everything really well. I had to pull a lot of the boards up on the top part here to insulate between that, but I insulated it all real well. And you can hear my little heater going. I have to heat it up. It's pretty cold in here. Insulated everything real well. I put sheetrock in, and I did the texturing myself. And then I painted it. It's called green grass, I believe, is the color. But and of course I put all the wiring in myself. Just a 100 amp panel. I put plugs everywhere. The more the merrier. Okay, I put all my lighting in. I just used regular, like, garage lights. They're like 12 bucks a piece. Pretty reasonable. I think they're 32 watts total. Okay, and painted everything green. There we go. For some reason my camera wasn't. I put pegboard up at this end, which is pretty handy. Get my clock plugged in. It's a clock I made years ago. Okay, anyway, I put pegboard. I hang all my stuff I can on it. I brought one of my worked as a mechanic for years, so I've got several things to hold tools. I put one of my snap-on roll-around carts. It's fairly handy. We redid the cabinets in some of the cabinets in our house and some of the countertops, so I took the cabinets we had left and installed them. Okay, we had a little backsplash which we had left, and I put it in back. Okay, we took some of our countertops out of our house, and so I took the countertops we took out of our house and integrated them into here. I had to cut to make them fit. Alright, and then I didn't want to take up my floor space with, well, most people underneath their benches, they just use a straight leg, so I did what they call, like, I believe they call them like a cantilever leg on my shelves, and I did that so I would have all my floor space to fill up with my junk, which works really well. That way I have lots of places to set things on my floor and slide them up underneath my bench. Okay, here's my computer system. I've got it set up to where you can play 2 people on Real Flight at the same time. You can also get on there with a laptop over here. You can play 1 person over here, 1 person here in the chair, and then somebody can sit and watch on the other monitor. Got that set up, and I build my own computers. So I built a real nice system for in here. And that's my computer area. And that's pretty well most of what is in my shop. I've already cluttered up my benches earlier from working on stuff. Everything that was cleaned up is already cluttered up. And that's pretty well it. I've also got a nice little sound system on my computer with a subwoofer. I listen to internet radio on my computer when I'm playing Real Flight. And hopefully I've covered almost everything. So that'll give you a pretty good idea of what my shop consists of, and yeah, this gives you a real good idea of how cluttered up it usually is. And of course, there's my revolver I'm working on. I've paid a lot of attention to the lights, of course. You've got to have a lot of lights. So, that's my little shop. My cabinets, my radio, my work table. It's a little small. I'm going to have to... It's some of my larger planes. These aren't my largest planes. The 50cc planes are nowhere near my larger. I've got a lot larger airplanes, but they're going to be hard to work on in here. This is kind of limited. Here's my plane racks. They hold a lot of my fairly good sized planes. I've got a loft. I can put some of my bigger planes up there. That's why I got the lofted barn. I actually removed a section right above the door. It had a section that came all the way across here when I bought it, and I removed that section to open it up a little bit. There's my Edge 540 that I just built. There's my M12 pits. There's my reactor bipe and my 25 size stick. Okay, there's my T-Rex 600 helicopter. I just got it done the other day. There's my reactor 50cc. I just got it done. I've got a few details to work out on it. Okay, my stereo system. I really like music when I'm working on stuff, so I got it set up. I've got a Yamaha. I believe it's about a 400 watt Yamaha. Let me see here. What is it? It's I think it's a 380. But anyway, I've got it set up here. This little wire here I can plug into my phone. Okay, and I can plug into the front. And I can listen to any radio station, not any radio station, but several of the radio stations all over the world over internet radio. I don't do it all the time. A lot of times I just listen to local. I listen to mostly country. I really enjoy my music, so I paid a lot of attention to, well, my music and my lighting. And what I'm getting ready to show you, a lot of it doesn't look that good, but yeah, because of my wiring. But is what I've got a Bose Acoustimass 700. So is what that's got. It's got 5 satellite speakers, which each speaker has 2. Okay. And then I've got a Boston Acoustics 400 watt subwoofer up there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Anyway, and really an incredible sounding system. I can turn it up when I'm in the mood. It's just clear as a bell. Has a really great sound. I really enjoy having good quality country music going when I'm building. It relaxes me. It helps a lot. Okay, well, that's pretty well my little shop. It's pretty cluttered because I'm working on a lot of stuff, so it's not really cleaned up that much, but that is my little shop. I try to keep a lot of supplies around. These are all servos. I buy in bulk because I build a lot of planes. I got 42 of these. I buy my receivers 8 or 10 at a time on a lot of them. I buy my fuel line. Well, in a couple years I went through 150 feet of nitro silicone line. I've got 2 different kinds of gasoline line here. I've got 1/8 and I've got 3/32. I've got a 50 foot of each on those. It's usually a lot cheaper to go ahead and buy a larger amount, even if it's more than you need, because small amounts cost so much. And that's pretty well it. I've got, now there's 3 of my radios. I've also got 2 JR radios. I've got a JR 9503 and I've got a JR DX9. Also, I kind of like to try a little bit of everything. I initially bought all the different kinds of radios so I could figure out which one I liked, and I ended up liking them all pretty well, and for each one has characteristics I like, so I use different ones on different planes. But that's pretty well it. That's my little shop. Some of my projects, some of the things I've finished, and that's it. Oh, this picture here is actually when I used to fly ultralight airplanes, and this is one of the first ultralight airplanes that I had. It was actually a weight shift, Quicksilver, and you set in a harness and you shifted your weight around to steer the elevator and the rudder, and it had, this one I believe had a 25 horse Yamaha single cylinder 2-stroke engine on it and a rear propeller. So that's kind of where I started. Funny.